We're here today to talk about one of the exporting functions that's done in AdminCenter. Most of the exporting is, of course, done in Control Center, but when we have a job requirement for a large amount of data, we can come over here to our physical view and to our system menu. Notice we have all of our cameras listed here, but if we come over here to the Mass Export tab up at the top, we can see how very easy it is to do exports for very large amounts of data when those are the requests. We simply start from the top and we scroll our way all the way down to the bottom. You can see how easy this is. We go ahead and click on the Add Job Wizard, and it brings us right to the Mass Exports Job Wizard, where all of the functions that we do are listed right here on the left-hand side, and we simply walk through them. So let's go to Next. Let's just choose one camera. Notice I could choose as many as I like, and we'll go to Next again. And we simply choose our time period right here. We could choose from and to any date and any time. As you can see, it's quite easy to do. We could just simply drop down our menu right here. And we could choose yesterday, last week, whatever it is. Let's go back to the second for whatever reason. And then you could notice right here, I can go to any other particular time. It's really, really easy to see and to figure out sort of how to choose the to and from. It's just like any other thing that I've ever seen. But let's go ahead and look for maybe a very small clip because we don't want it to take too long when we do it. So let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and start just on today. And we'll start from noon, as you can see right here, by the 12 o'clock p.m. or a.m. time, or so midnight. And we're going to go from midnight to, say, I don't know, well, we'll start right here with, how about just maybe a 10-minute clip itself. So we'll start here with 12, and we'll go to 12:10. So make a nice quick clip so it'll finish, because otherwise it might take a little bit longer to actually complete its mass export. So we're really only going to tax it for a 10-minute clip. This is something we would normally do in Control Center. But for this example, we just wanted to complete so you can see how easy it is. You can see right here in the job settings, I have my only archiver listed. If I had more than one archiver, it would I could actually choose cameras from different archivers, and it would just queue those jobs in order. So all the cameras on this particular archiver would go first in job 1, and then the cameras that I wanted to mass export from a different archiver would be just listed in the second job. Following the first one. So that's all it does. Now notice how I can come down right here. I can just give it a description of, say, test, and a path I already have actually set to my desktop, but I don't have a folder created there. So you can see there's the path to my desktop, and what I'm going to do is just add a folder for the mass exports right here, and I'll just call it mass exports. Now I go to hit the test button. This is simply going to test to perform a test, basically to make sure that I have right access to this particular folder and create the folder as I do it. And you can see the green checkbox validates the fact that I do now have access to that folder and write capabilities. I can include the player. This is a DVT format export function after all, so if I'm sending it to somebody without Control Center, I would actually need to include that player. We could also give a choice to stop all recordings while exporting. There's an option you could choose. Most people, I think, would leave that alone, but you do have the option to be able to do that. And then finally, you can have the auto start. So as soon as I fire off the job, it's actually going to start immediately. And then right here, in case of existing files, I can actually choose to overwrite, skip them, or create a fail state. So let's go ahead and include the player, and we will just skip over existing files that are created, and we'll hit next. And this takes us to our create job. It actually tells us what's going to happen, where it's going to go, the size, etc. And we hit next, and this takes us to our summary, shows us what's going on, shows us the progress currently is at 0. But if I sit here at the screen and I'll take a look, we'll just keep an eye on it just for a second here, and it should, because it's a very short export of only 10 minutes. There we go. It takes us to our 100% completed, and you can see how easy it is to perform this export. Now, the last thing we'll do, of course, is go to the file that was created on our desktop. Right down here on the bottom left-hand corner is our mass exports folder, and if we open that up, we can see we do have our quick control center, the player that we included. We have a file with the date, and of course our log files right here, in case those are needed later on. But let's go ahead into the date itself. There's the archive. If we had 2, we'd have 2 folders. There's the camera. We only had 1, so we only have 1 camera folder, and there's all the individual 4 exports.